In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up live streaming for the HTC VIVE through YouTube Live, as well as display the YouTube Live chat window in virtual reality so you can respond to your streamers. So we're going to start from scratch. This video is for the absolute novice, so let's dive in. All right, first thing you're going to want is a YouTube channel, okay? If you don't have one, they're easy to make. They are free, so just make one. You're going to want to go to Creator Studio, and you're going to want to go to live streaming right here on the side. And then you're going to want to generate a stream name / key, okay? So this is important. This is what's going to allow us to connect our YouTube Live stream to our broadcasting software, which will actually be recording the virtual reality games or experiences. So generate a stream key, reveal it, and then copy it to your clipboard because you're going to need that in a bit. Some other things you're going to want to do while you're here is you're going to want to go to stream options and make sure DVR is enabled so people can actually rewind and kind of get the context of whatever you're talking about. And then you're also going to want to make sure that your videos or your live streams are automatically archived. So then you can turn them into YouTube videos that people can watch whenever. Great. Some other things we're going to want to do are go to Advanced Settings. We're going to want to make sure Enable Live Chat is selected so people can communicate with us. And then we're also going to want to click on Basic Info here and set up sort of a template just for what every live stream video, once it's turned into an actual video, as in like not a live stream, as an archive post, will have. So you don't have to type this in every time. So just set up some defaults. You can see that I have a default title for Rec Room, which is the game I tend to stream, and my username is bot. So it really helps speed things up. The other thing that you could do, which is kind of optional, but I know as a YouTuber I would appreciate it, you want to go to Messages, or I'm sorry, you're going to want to go to Community. You're going to want to go to Channel, my bad, Other C, and you're going to want to go to Advanced, and you're going to want to just turn off advertising, because unless you're making your living off of YouTube, really it's pointless and it's annoying to everyone else. Great. Moving right along, let's get the second piece to this puzzle, and that is Open Broadcast Software. To find Open Broadcast Software, simply Google the words Open Broadcast Software. It'll take you to a page like this. You're going to want to click Download and then download the version for your operating system. I'm on Windows, unfortunately, so that's the version I have. Now, I'm not going to download it in this video because it won't let me install a second version of Open Broadcast Software, considering I'm recording on Open Broadcast Software right now. Two versions launched at the same time tend to not play well together. So we're just going to pretend that I've downloaded it, and when you install it, let's do your desktop. See, I've installed it here to my desktop. It's all in one nice little folder, and what you're going to want to do is go into that folder and create a text document, right, and title that portable_mode.txt. Now what this does is it makes everything contained in this one folder as opposed to spread out throughout your system. So you could actually copy this folder onto a USB stick and then use it on another computer. So it's really nice. I highly recommend you do portable mode. The other thing I recommend is go into bin 64-bit, right-click on obs64.exe, and you're going to want to create a shortcut, right, and just put that on your desktop. I already have one here, so I'm not going to create another one, but you know, it speeds things up so you don't have to keep going to the bin folder every time you want to record. Excellent. So now that we have that, we're going to need a plugin which will allow us to capture our virtual reality video, and that plugin is called OpenVR Input Plugin version 1.0. So just Google OpenVR Input Plugin. It'll take you to a page like this. You can simply look at the URL as well. But you're going to download it. And once again, I'm going to pretend like I've just downloaded it. We're going to go to our Downloads folder, and we're going to look at this Input Plugin zip file. Okay. Now you'll notice there's a Data folder and an OBS Plugins folder. So if we open our OBS portable, our OBS file, it might be titled something differently on your folder, but we're going to open the OBS software package. You'll notice that there is also a Data folder and an OBS Plugins folder. Okay? So just like we did in preschool, we're going to put the round block in the round hole and simply do a little matching. So let's first go into our data folder. Okay, let's go into data folder here. There's another match. Okay, so we're going to go OBS plugins, and we'll notice that here there's not a match. Okay, so that lets us know this is where we're going to copy the file. So let's click on WinOpenVR. We're going to press Control-C, and we're going to copy it in here. I've already done this. So once you've done it, you should see in here WinOpenVR, which is right there. All right, so let's go back and do the second file. This will be the OBS plugins file. So we're going to go in OBS plugins, 64-bit, 64-bit, and we're going to copy these two files and paste them into here. Okay, and to confirm that they're there, you can look, and there's one of them. Okay, so they're in there. All right, once we've done that, if you have already opened Open Broadcast software, you're going to want to restart it. And when you restart it, you should be able to, if you press this plus icon under Sources, select OpenVR Capture as a capture device, as a source, for your scene. So this, as I said before, is going to allow us to capture our VR output. Great. The other piece that we're going to need is something called restream.io. All right, and this is free. Simply Google restream.io, and it will take you to a page sort of like this. You will need to sign up and attach it to your live stream. To do that, you're going to need your stream key. Remember that we looked at right here. Okay. Make sure you don't just copy the dots, otherwise it is not going to work. You have to click reveal and then copy it. I'm not going to click reveal because I don't want everyone knowing how to access my stream, which would be very bad. So you're going to paste that in here and connect your live stream to restream.io. It's fairly straightforward. The next thing you're going to do is add a channel. Okay, you're going to select YouTube Stream Now. Unfortunately, I've already added a channel here, so it's not going to let me do another one, but since it's your first channel, you shouldn't have a problem here. So once you have your channel, you're going to want to go to Chat, okay, and then you're going to want to download the Windows desktop version if you're running Windows. If not, you're just going to have web chat. But what the desktop version has, and the web chat one might have it as well, but I'm not sure. But what it has is it allows you to go into settings here, okay? And specifically, it allows you to set sounds for notifications. So when you get a message, it'll make a sound like this, okay? That's important because the chat window that we're going to have in virtual reality is not going to be visible to us at all times. We don't want that sucker just sitting off in our peripheral vision, blocking things. So the way that I'm going to set it up is it's actually going to be on the underside of the controller. So it's only going to become visible once you look at the underside of your controller. So that being said, how do you know when you need to look at it? Well, that's where these notifications come in. When you hear that sound, you know you've gotten a message, and you can flip over your controller and attend to it. All right. So the other thing we're going to do is we are going to click on Embed Chat in Stream. All right. And we are going to configure this, right, so that the scale is max, because the normal YouTube chat window is not very large, and it looks kind of shit in VR. So we want something that is nice, high resolution, and will look nice. Okay, so scale 400. I also enjoy having message alignment at the top, so new messages appear at the top as opposed to the bottom. Just seems to make more sense to me. So once we've done that, we're just going to open it in the browser. Okay, and you can see that I've already opened another one, but here's what it's going to look like. You can see it's a nice, huge chat window. So that should work now. And if we want to, I believe we can just, even if we're not streaming, sort of test it by sending ourselves a message. So let's just say test. And let's see if it appears here. And let's see if it appeared on Restream Chat. And there it is. So we know this is working. All right, so the next piece to this, we're going to want something called OVRDrop. Now you can find this on Steam, but there's also a free version that you can get. It is not as up-to-date as the Steam version, and I've not tried it. So if you want to go that route, you can find it on GitHub, I assume by Googling OVRDrop. It may actually be known as something else, but I'm sure you can find it if you Google OVRDrop GitHub. Anyways, to get the Steam version, you're going to want to go to Store and simply search OVRDrop. There it is. It's $11.24. I think it's well worth it. I mean, it still is not super polished, but the developer seems very, seems like he's sticking with it. And he seems like he's intent on, keeping it up to date. So I have high hopes. So download it and then install it. Do not open it yet because if you do, it's going to start virtual reality. And we really want to launch it from within VR. So the same sort of interface is available both in VR and on the desktop, but I've noticed that there's been some technical problems if I try and adjust things on the desktop. So just for the sake of this tutorial, this may be different in the future. We're just going to open it in VR. Great. So now we're going to want to launch VR, and we're going to want to start adding sources here, okay? So let's launch VR by going into Steam and just clicking our VR icon here. Great. Oh, you may be wondering what this thing is right here. This is turn signal. It's free, and what it does is it lets you know how many times you've turned in a specific direction via sort of a spiral shape that will be on your floor. So the more spirally or more twisted the spiral shape is, the more times you've turned in that direction. And so if you want to untangle your cable, you just simply turn in the other direction until the spiral is straight. So it's very useful for us Vive users that tend to get tangled up in our own cords. Whether or not this will be useful to any other consoles, or I'm sorry, any other platforms, I have no idea. But I love it. It's free. I highly recommend it. Great. So let's just check that VR is running. And the way we can do this is we can click this plus icon, and we can add a new Open VR capture. Okay. And I've already done this, but you're going to want to do this. I'm going to make it visible now so you can see it. Okay. So it's working. But when you're configuring it, you're going to want to go in here and you're going to want to probably select HTC VIVE 16:9. Otherwise, the default way that it displays VR is sort of the circle, because at least on the Vive, the eyepieces and the screens are circular, right? So if it is going to display everything, it's going to be a circle. So you're going to have to crop it a little bit to get it to fit nicely into YouTube, but this is obviously just a personal preference. So keep it as a circle if you want. I won't lose sleep over it. All right, we're also going to want to make sure that we have audio, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to click the plus icon, and we're going to add audio input capture, okay? Now, I've already done this, but when you create an audio input capture, you're going to get something like this. Like this. And you're going to select the microphone from your USB audio device. Now, the HTC VIVE is technically a USB device because it is connected via USB as well as HDMI and other sort of inputs. But this is what you're going to want to do. I assume it's going to be similar on other systems. What this will do is it'll allow you to capture the audio from the microphone that is built into the HTC VIVE. Okay? So good. That is done. And now we're going to want to capture the audio that you're going to hear when you have your Vive headset on. So to do that, we're going to click plus, and we're going to go to audio output capture. Once again, I've already done this. But the screen will look something like this. Okay? And so you're just going to want to select your HTC VIVE as the device. So what this will do is, whatever you hear in VR will then be captured by OBS and then streamed. So those are the pieces. If you want, you can add your webcam to the bottom right-hand corner so people can see you in real life as well as what you're seeing in VR. That's what I do. If you don't have a webcam, that's also optional. But to add a webcam, if you want. You're going to click plus, and then you're going to go to video capture device, and you're simply going to select your webcam. And it's as easy as that. I'm not going to flirt with that, because if I go to video capture device while I'm streaming, something with the HTC VIVE's built-in camera causes some problem. So this is actually the second time I've had to record this, because it just crashes. So beware. I would avoid using the front-facing camera on the Vive if you're going to also be using a webcam, because there seems to be some sort of driver conflict or something. Great. All right, so now we're going to go into virtual reality. You probably have been hearing birds chirping in the background because my Steam VR audio has been up, but now we're going to put up the Steam VR mic capture and put down this microphone, so you guys don't hear two versions of me. All right, testing, 1, 2. Yes, it looks like we are capturing audio. Let's just double check to make sure we're not capturing any other sources. We look good, okay. So, you can probably only see my torso in the webcam, but that's not super important. What is important is what you're seeing in virtual reality. So, where we are now is sort of the Steam beta home. So, it's just kind of like your desktop. All the Steam apps and stuff are there. Of course, you've got your balloon unicorn, which is a necessity. But what we want to do now is we want to launch OVRDrop from within VR, okay? So find it. You can find it here, or as I recommend you do, you simply press the lower button to open up your Steam interface here. Go to library. And find it within VR, okay? So there it is. Click it, and you're going to want to launch VR overlay. So this might take a second just to boot up. Let's make sure you are still seeing VR. Here we go. Let's minimize this. You are. I wonder if we can see it if we've minimized it. No, we cannot. So we have to maximize it on our desktop. All right. All right, so you'll notice I looked at the back of my hand to see this thing. For you, it will probably be floating somewhere around here, because I think it defaults to being just like an object, just like our balloon unicorn is an object that doesn't follow you around. This defaults to being an object somewhere in the scenery. So to change that, what we're going to want to do here is first make you full screen so we can see the bottom. But you're going to want to select left controller, okay? So it defaults to world here. But screen is what we're going for, and specifically left controller, okay? So once you've done that, you're also probably going to want to make a default configuration. You see I've misspelled custom rec room. I've added a J on the end. But really, what we're going to be going for is we're going to want left controller backside. So that's essentially what I've done here. So instead of having to select that every time, I've just kind of made a custom profile. And to do that, you can just simply go to this and go to new, and then set it up down here to be left controller below flipped, and then just press save and title it whatever you want. Okay, but so this is working. Now it's displaying this what is it called? OVRDrop
drop screen, which is obviously not what we want. We want a chat window. So to get the chat window, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our desktop. And we are going to
Okay, so we're back here. We're also going to make this invisible now, just so you can see the desktop. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure our restream.io window is a separate Chrome window and that it is full screen, okay? So to do that, we're going to go into our restream chat here, remember, and we're going to open in browser, okay, and everything is nice and big, and we are going to we're either going to drag this tab to make it its own Chrome window, or simply just make sure it's on top, okay, and once it's on top, we're going to want to press F11 to make it full screen, okay. So now it's full screen. This is what's going to be captured, okay? So we'll get back to it in VR, but just know that we're going to need to do that, okay? So I'm going to switch things back over to VR, and then I'm going to make this full screen, and you'll see in the OVRDrop that we'll be able to select it, okay? So let's get VR back working here. So we'll enable Open VR Capture. We'll get rid of my volume, so you won't be able to hear me, and then I'll turn on the volume there, and I'll make restream.io full screen again, okay?
Okay. So we're back in here, and you'll notice that if we go up to this little magnifying glass here and click it, we'll be able to select Google Chrome, so Restream Chat Google Chrome, which is the tab that's currently on front, as our source. So let's click it, and you'll notice our window is right here. And so that's what we're looking for. You'll see when you flip over your controller, you can see chat. Wonderful. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to actually start streaming. All right, so once again, I'm going to put this down. I'm going to go back to my desktop, and I'm going to switch over audio and everything so you can hear me again.
Okay, we're back. I'm going to turn off Open VR Capture. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to actually start our live stream. Now, to connect OBS to YouTube live stream, what we're going to want to do is go up to File. We're going to want to go to Settings, and we're going to want to go to Stream, okay? And we're going to select YouTube/YouTube Gaming. It'll also give you the option of selecting Twitch or whatever streaming service you want. It should work regardless. We're going to want to select the primary YouTube ingest server, and then we're going to want to paste that stream key in here. And that key is, as I said before, what's going to connect open broadcast software with our live stream. Another thing you might want to do while you're here, which is kind of useful, especially if you are going to edit videos, is under Output, switch the recording format from FLV, which is Flash, over to MP4. Video editing software like iMovie doesn't like FLV file format, so you will have to remux your video recordings, which is somewhat annoying. So I like to just record an MP4, even if there are potential problems if you get the blue screen of death, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Great. So now that we have connected OBS with YouTube Livestream, we are going to minimize this and minimize that, and we're going to go back to Chrome, and we are going to go to our streaming page. Okay, so we can see this, and everything is set up. So in OBS, we're going to click Start Streaming. Okay, so we're streaming now, and we're recording, but we're going to go back to that YouTube page, and it should say, there we are. So the stream is now on. Great. So people are seeing this video right now, but that's not exactly what we want people to see. We want people to see VR. So now let's go back into VR and see if we can interact with people. All right. So once again, I'm going to lower the volume on this, and I'm going to put VR back in the screen, and I will meet you back in the matrix.
All right, here I am. And you know what? Let's raise this webcam a little bit so that you can actually see me a little better. Okay. And let us dive in. See, our chat is up, and let's launch Rec Room, which is, as I've said before, the application that I like to stream because it is an interesting social experience, and laser tag is super fun. Profile. So I'm going to see if anyone I know is online, and I'm going to ask if they can just kind of send me a text message in chat to check, to verify that this is indeed working and that we can chat with people. I have 4 friends online. Great. So let's try and get in touch with one of them. We have Nan. Okay, great. Nan works. Hey, can you do me a favor? Meet in lobby. Lobby you. All right. So let's meet in the rec center.
I mean, not the hat. I do like the hat, but I don't like the shirt.
She may be MIA
Well,
or
to me, it's
AFK.
Why is your name Bot?
Because I'm a robot.
And I'm a cat.
Because your hands.
Nope.
I'm a cat.
So, guys, could you do me a favor, Mr. Cat?
Yeah.
I'm actually recording a video right now on YouTube, and I was hoping you could verify that something's working for me.
Like?
So I have this chat window that I can see in VR, and I was hoping you could go to my live stream and just simply say something to me.
Hey, you guys,
So
hey.
to do that,
What?
you would just Google bot and rec room, and I should pop up.
My phone is dead.
Okay.
My phone is with my mom.
I can help you.
She
Great,
stole
dude.
it from my room.
Here, hold this for me.
I got it. So yeah, just Google bot rec room, and
So I'm gonna be
well-
on a live stream?
yeah, you
Wait,
should
are
see
you
it
a famous
live.
YouTuber?
No,
Oh.
but I'm making a
On
tutorial
YouTube?
vid. Yeah, and just say
Alright.
A
something to me
tutorial
in
on
chat.
what?
Well, how to see chat in virtual reality and to interact with people on YouTube live stream.
Is it handy bot or just bot?
It's just bot. Bot rec room. I should pop up. Taylor Shockey is my actual YouTube.
Alright, yeah, you're live. Hold up. I got you.
Great.
So I'm gonna be on 2
Wait,
live
bot,
streams.
do you wanna
in
be
2
friends?
days.
Sure.
Wait, so you're live
Alright, sit
streaming? You're live streaming right now?
I am.
I'm Stephen Hall.
Or can I be friends?
Oh my gosh!
Hey,
so I
there
just
he is.
friended with a live streamer.
So Stephen Hall
friends.
just said, "Hey."
Can I
I
Yeah,
can see
that's
that in
me.
VR. Great. Mission accomplished.
Bot, can I have
Yeah.
friends?
I'm gonna.
Everyone,
How do you
hey.
see chat in VR though?
High fives all
That's
around.
what my
High fives all
tutorial
around.
video is
May I
about.
bef-
All right,
Bot,
guys.
may
Thank
I
you.
befriend you? May I befriend you, bot?
Yes,
May I
I'll be back in a sec.
Oh my gosh! I'm friends with a live streamer.
Okay, so as you've hopefully just seen, the system works. We've verified that it works, and that's how you do it. So if you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to ask them, and please, start streaming. Share the magic of VR with people, and interact with the community, and spread the word. All right, thank you.